Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday and happy Valentine's Day. I'm your digital host, Tatyana White, and welcome back to another episode of the 48 Recap, which is just the one stop shop to catch up on some of the top news stories of the week, including the latest on a former Huntsville daycare employee charged with several counts of child sex abuse, a Marshall County student making terrorist threats, an Alabama bill that could change police chase policies, updates on a massive fire that broke out in Fayetteville last weekend, two children left in daycare vans, a fun story of a bus route in Lauderdale County full of twins, a Black History Month story of an African American motel that was created during segregation in Huntsville, weekend events, and so much more. I hope you all are having a great weekend so far, and I hope you all are having some fun Valentine's and Mardi Gras plans. And I know the Tennessee Valley has so many fun spots, so many fun events, and just a lot of different things going on this weekend to celebrate both, whether it's with friends, families, or significant others. So if you can make it out to something, whether it's Mardi Gras theme or Valentine's Day or just because, definitely go out. And we do have some heavy rain coming in overnight. So tune into our Weather Extra segment later this afternoon and our forecast online and on TV to stay up to date on that. But it definitely looks like there's going to be some sunnier and warmer days that are coming ahead. The sunsets have been so beautiful lately, almost like every day. It's been a very beautiful, like almost orangey purple sunset. So loving that. I hope those continue. And we see your photos come in through our zine where you can send in those photos for us and that are posted on our website and everything. So thank you all for taking those photos. We love seeing the photos that you guys see because I know the sunset here in Huntsville might look slightly different than it does in like Decatur or something. So we definitely appreciate when you all submit those photos. But let's get into this weekend's recap. So, a former Huntsville daycare employee, he is facing another lawsuit after being charged with sexually abusing children. 24-year-old Cameron White was arrested last month and charged with sexually abusing children. Since his arrest, he now has a total of 8 charges, and there are now a 5th and a 6th victim named in lawsuits against White and Trinity United Methodist Church. White also has 8 different criminal charges from 8 different victims. And White was arrested last month when police said he sexually abused a child while working at Trinity United Methodist Daycare in Huntsville. And church leaders, they told us that White worked there for 5 years and then he was fired shortly before he was arrested. And prosecutors say there's 21 days worth of surveillance footage of White working at the daycare. And since his arrest, 3 lawsuits have claimed 6 victims, and investigators say they found 8 in total. And so, along with White, the church and daycare are also named. All 3 of them are named in the lawsuit, and so have 3 employees who have also been placed on leave since the incident occurred. And so, White, he is scheduled to face a judge next week for these charges. And 48's Nick Ballinger, he will be in the courtroom for that hearing. And so, we'll keep you updated right here at WAFF with the latest that we learn on this situation. And now to an update on a story we first brought you on Thursday night. Leaders at a Marshall County high school said a student is no longer enrolled after he was arrested for making terrorist threats. And so the Marshall County Sheriff's Office arrested 18-year-old Jackson Minyard, who was accused of making a post on social media with what appeared to be a gun with the caption saying, quote, "School shooter, final boss," end quote. And so officials at Brindley Mountain High School were alerted of the situation and pulled him out of class. And after interviewing with investigators, he was arrested and officially charged with making these threats. And Marshall County Schools, they released a statement confirming that Minyard is no longer a student in the school system. And they say, quote, "We take every threat seriously and we have zero tolerance regarding these issues. Safety remains our number one priority," end quote. And so Minyard has since bonded out of jail. And this week, a heartbroken mother is begging for state lawmakers to approve a new law after her son was killed in a wreck during a police chase that ended in Hartselle. State Senator Arthur Orr hopes this bill will help save the lives of innocent bystanders during police chases. He's named it the Tristan Hollis Memorial Act in honor of that teen that died in that police chase. So 48's Callie Neese shares more on this bill.
I never thought that I would be here, standing here today, speaking on behalf of my son's death. asking for a law to pass in honor of him and his memory, so other families and victims do not have to live with this unbearable grief, to hold officers of the state accountable for their actions, to serve and protect, not seek and destroy.
It all started back in September with a chase initiated by Priceville police on I-65. According to Hartselle police, officers were chasing Archie Hale. Just 3 minutes after the chase began, the car wrecked at Main Street and Highway 31. That car hit the vehicle Tristan was in.
Tristan never made it home. A statement made by Officer Wood, traffic homicide investigator, was that the vehicle was hit so hard that Tristan's pants were knocked off of his body. Can you imagine?
Senator Arthur Orr filed Senate Bill 120, better known as the Tristan Hollis Memorial Act. This bill would create a standard statewide for law enforcement agencies to follow regarding vehicular pursuit policies. This bill would also limit vehicular pursuits to individuals suspected of certain violent crimes.
I'm not stating to stop or give lack of importance, but to rationalize fight or flight, rectify cause and effect.
However, some officers came to speak about their concerns with this bill.
Criminal behavior is adaptive, as we all know. Once offenders understand that law enforcement is restricted from pursuing them for many offenses, compliance with traffic stops and lawful orders would dramatically decrease, and individuals who believe they can evade arrest simply by fleeing in a vehicle will be more likely to do so.
Chief Partridge adding that he is willing to work towards a solution.
We would be more than happy to sit down and talk about some remedies that we could possibly come to an understanding that would make this beneficial for everybody.
And this week, we've been following up with a Fayetteville after a massive and devastating fire swept through the downtown area last Sunday. And so recovery efforts are still continuing after Sunday's fire spread to 5 businesses, with 4 of them being considered a total loss. And so we know that 3 firefighters were injured, and 2 of those 3 were taken to the hospital. And officials tell us that Mercantile on Market, the Skin Refinery, Young Vintage, and the Dance Academy Fayetteville were all destroyed in this fire. And Fayetteville's fire chief says the department made the decision to bring in an excavator to tear down the impacted buildings to keep the fire from spreading. And while that contained the blaze, it also buried the point of origin, and therefore letting us know what actually caused that fire. And so the fire chief, he shares a little bit more about the decision making behind that.
I know a lot of people might look at this hole and say, you know, we lost too much or more than what we should have, but man, we gained a lot too. We saved a lot of buildings. And I'm proud of the guys that come out here and made that effort achievable. We had to make the tactical decision to go ahead and tear down the rest of the buildings that was damaged in the fire. My main concern was rekindling and spreading to the rest of the square. So we had to get an excavator in here and start tearing down the buildings. And investigations, that's all your, I ain't gonna say all your answers, because it still could be undetermined at the end of the day, but it would help you lead to maybe what caused it. The value of the rest of the square was more important at the time than finding out actually what happened.
Fayetteville Main Street has set up a site to donate to the affected businesses. And so those funds, if you do donate, those would go toward filling insurance gaps and helping the businesses get back on their feet during this time to just rebuild their business and get their buildings back up. And so if you'd like to help, a link to the donation site is on our website at WAFF.com. And 2 families in Decatur are taking action after their young children were left unattended in daycare transportation vans. Their attorney says it's time to hold these facilities accountable. 48's Callie Neese spoke with the family's attorneys, who has an important message for every parent with young children, especially those who are going to daycare.
Trusted this place to protect him.
2 different daycares, 2 different children left alone. Tony Malika is representing 2 families who say Decatur Love and Joy Learning Center and Kids and Us Daycare and Learning Center left their child by themselves on a van. A former employee tells me that these daycares are operating by a mother-daughter duo. Malika told me that both children were left on the daycare transport van for hours just last month. One's 6, the other is only 4.
God forbid it wasn't serious, but you never know. As we've seen throughout the state, there have been deaths from these type of incidents.
Though these children were left in the cold and both children are physically okay, hot weather here in the valley is just around the corner. According to the National Safety Council, there were 39 children who died in 2024 after being left in a hot car. And since 2020, 9 children here in Alabama have died from being in a hot car.
We're hoping that we can send a message and bring more awareness to the situation by contacting these people and just simply letting them know that this kind of behavior will not be tolerated.
The mother of the 4-year-old told me earlier this week she never wants this to happen to another child again.
Because, yeah, it happened to my child, but it happened to somebody else's child. They might not make it. So that's what I want to prevent.
I've reached out to both daycares, and I've yet to hear back from Kids and Us. After reaching out to Love and Joy multiple times, they still tell me they do not wish to comment on this matter.
And check out this fun story out of Lauderdale County where a bus driver says he spends every day transporting 5 sets of twins. Over time, Darren Ferris noticed a pattern while on his route. He started with 2 sets of twins and then more joined. Other bus drivers in the area say they don't think they have any twins that they pick up. But Ferris says the children are a joy to have on his bus.
You don't see twins very often, but I will say this, all of them are just great kids. I enjoy them very much, and 2 of the sets are identical twins, and they enjoy me confusing their names, which I do from time to time. But I got 2 boy sets, 2 girl sets, and a boy and a girl set.
Pretty chill, laid back.
Chill, relatable.
Yeah.
Yes, he's very nice, and when you having a bad day, he really can brighten your day up.
And so the twins, they feel the same way about the whole ordeal, and they shared a little more. That was just the video that I was about to show, is that they showed how much they love their bus driver. And so check out what they had to say about having him as a bus driver as well.
You walk in the morning, he's always good morning, and really makes you feel like the day will be a nice day.
And so Ferris says he has the best job on the planet, and this has definitely made it more unique. And I think it's just so cool that he gets to have all these different twins on the bus route with him, and that there's different sets, and that the twins also equally feel just the same amount of joy around this bus driver as well. And so I think that is absolutely fascinating that all of these twins ended up on the same school, at the same school and on the same bus route. And Ferris said someone even reached out to him and said that there's actually even more twins that are at the school, but they're just car riders, they're not bus riders. So if they were bus riders, he'd probably have more twins, sets of twins on the bus. So I think that's so amazing. And Lauderdale County clearly has a lot of twins. So, and all month long, we are continuing to celebrate Black History Month here at WAFF and honoring Black history created right here in North Alabama. Traveling in the Jim Crow South always meant the potential threat of danger for Black families. And so places to eat, and places to stay were limited because of segregation. But here in Huntsville, there was at least one place African Americans could find safety in. And so for today's Black History piece, 48's Jonathan Skinner, he shows us the history of the first motel in Huntsville for African Americans. Right, just a moment, you guys. Let me see if I can find that for you all. Just bear with me for a second as I try to find that video for you all. test. Okay, here we go. All right, so we have that in. Sometimes all the technical stuff, some of these videos get kind of lost in the shuffle, but now I'm going to show you guys the Jonathan Skinner's package on the first motel in Huntsville for African Americans.
It might not look like a lot now, but at one time, this lot at 1302 Posey Avenue was home to Huntsville history. If you're an African American looking to travel in the 1950s or 60s, you probably use this, a green book. And if you're coming to Huntsville, you search in here for the site of the Gladys Jane Motel. Opened on April 23, 1959, it was Huntsville's first motel for African Americans. Before it opened, traveling to the area would typically require staying with family and extensive planning.
Many of them just traveled on the road and knew the distance that they need. They packed their lunches and whatever accommodations they need because they knew they couldn't stop at various hotels or gas stations or restaurants because they would not be received.
The motel was opened by James and Lily Mae Moore and named after their daughters, Gladys and Jane. Dr. Jane Blackwell says her mother and father's story is one of innovation in the face of injustice. James, a brick mason, and Lily Mae, a cook, only had grade school educations, but were entrepreneurs at heart. Together, they started a formal cafe named the Paradise Inn, and after that, with the help of family, they opened the motel.
My father and his brother, Lawrence Moore, decided to purchase that land, and they built the motel.
Though young girls when it first opened, Jane has fond memories of going to the Gladys Jane Motel with her sister after school.
Many times we actually got a chance to be the clerks to check people in.
And some of the travelers were well known.
I think the biggest memory that I have was when Aretha Franklin and her father, who was a pastor, came down for a conference, being able to sit out and hear her beautiful voice. I wished I had gotten autographs.
This picture from the grand opening celebration shows community members who came out to see the new building. From that day, the business began to grow, going from an original 7 units to 16 in a restaurant called Geneva's Grill, named after Jane's stepsister.
And we were pretty much booked all the time.
But not everyone was happy to see a new Black-owned business thriving.
We would have some people to drive by and, of course, call out some racial remarks. But that wasn't a stopping factor for my family. We knew who we were. We knew what we could do. We had a vision to help others.
In the late 80s, after Jane's father passed away, the family had challenges maintaining the property, and it would eventually be demolished in the early 2000s. But Jane says it still leaves a lasting legacy.
Their resilience, in spite of the segregation and civil rights and Jim Crow, all of that era going on, they pursued their vision and their dream.
Today, the only thing that still stands here is the pole that once held the sign for the Gladys Jane Motel. But with the help of the community, Jane says that she's hoping to place a historical marker here so people always remember the impact it had on Huntsville. Jonathan Skinner, WAFF 48 News, on your side.
Yes, and that's just such an interesting story, especially the whole thing of Aretha Franklin and her dad coming by to stay at this motel and that it was right here in Huntsville. And it's just so special that the pole that hung that motel sign is still up today. And it's just so special that the daughter of the owners is still able to share her stories and still being able to remember and sharing those memories of the motel. So check out more of our WAFF Black History Month pieces online and on air during our newscast throughout the whole month. There's so many good and just rich and interesting history pieces that we have from throughout the Tennessee Valley. And coming up after the break, we'll take a look at stories coming up in our evening newscast, and we'll also check out some great events happening in the Huntsville and surrounding areas this weekend. Stay tuned. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 48 recap. I see Miss Roberta is in the comments, and she says good evening. Good evening, Miss Roberta, and I hope you're doing well, and I hope you all are doing great. And so let's check out a story that you can look out for coming up in our evening newscast. So a Hartselle man, he was arrested after a home invasion and robbery in Athens Wednesday night. 31-year-old Tanner Phillips allegedly broke into a vehicle at a home on Highway 99 just after midnight. When the homeowner confronted him, Phillips pointed a rifle and chased him inside. The resident opened fire, and then it hit Phillips multiple times. And then Phillips fled, but was later taken into custody at Decatur Morgan Hospital, where he was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. And so investigators said Phillips was wearing a ski mask and bulletproof vest and was armed with a rifle and pistol, and all of that was recovered at the scene. And he's now charged with first-degree burglary, first-degree robbery, and unlawful breaking and entering a vehicle. Phillips, he remains in the Limestone County Jail with no bond set. And you can tune into our evening newscast to hear more details on this story and many others. Our 5 p.m. show, it's going to be a fast cast, so that means it's going to be streamed on our digital platforms due to other coverage that's on our channel right now on NBC. So tune in wherever you're watching this right now. It's the same place you can tune in just a few minutes for the 48 fast cast. And so there also won't be a 6 p.m. on TV, but we should have our regular 10 p.m. show air at our regular time on TV today. And of course, as you all know, with Mardi Gras, there is a ton of fun events happening in the Huntsville and surrounding areas this weekend to celebrate. And so happening now throughout the rest of the afternoon is the Mardi Gras parade in downtown Huntsville. So you will not want to miss out on this. The streets of Huntsville will be full of color. There will be beads, a lot of fun things to check out. So bring out your entire family to enjoy this fun time. And for Valentine's Day, you can also celebrate that at Field Day. They are having an all-day sneaker prom where you can dress up, lace up your best kicks, and make it a night. And so there will be live music until midnight, and this will be presented by the After Hours Collective, and it will be 18 and up only allowed inside the building after 8 p.m. And so before then, family event. And then there will also be a Valentine's couples deal where you can play 2 games and get an appetizer for $50. And so just a great time at Field Day. It should be a really fun time, and a sneaker ball would be so fun and fitting and just something great to do for Valentine's Day, whether it's with your family before 8 p.m. or, with your significant other. And there's also another really fun Valentine's Day event going on today at Low Mill Arts and Entertainment, and they're having a Paint Your Partner date night, which is a fun night where you can paint a portrait of your partner or your date or your friend or whoever you decide to go with. It's $55, and it's going on from 5:30 p.m. to 7 at Low Mill Arts and Entertainment. And I've seen so many people do these couple portraits on social media, and it is always just so hilarious. I think it's a great bonding experience, just trying your best to paint how you view this person. And so I think it's always a funny experience. So I think it'll be a great time to just bond. And I know personally I can't draw, so I would probably do very terrible at this. But I feel like either way, whether you can draw or you're really good at painting or not, it's all about making fun memories and just having a good time. So it's fine if you can't draw or paint like me. Just go out, do it if you can. It's a good time. Or you can always also go get the supplies, do it at home, make it an in-home date night or something. So, but a good time doing those portraits. And there's also a Black History Month exhibition that you can check out throughout the month of February. And the exhibition is called Joy Without Consent. And it is where art and artists, they create art that is asking to be understood, but instead they're showing their life and joy. So the purpose of the art with this exhibition is for these artists to not ask for permission for their life to be understood, but they're showing instead, what they want to show in their life and their joy. Joy. And so that exhibition is free, and it will be open until February 28th at Mid-City District at 930 Old Monrovia Road, Suite 7. I'm very excited to go. Someone I interviewed last year, almost around this time, more probably in March last year, but his name was Xavier Adams, and I had him on our digital show 48 Now, and he showed some of his work that he was going to be displaying at an art show, I believe at the Orion, and he does phenomenal work. So some of his work will be there, and so many other amazing artists are going to have wonderful work displayed there throughout the whole month of February. So if you want to check those out, definitely do. And there's going to be another Havoc game happening tomorrow against the Knoxville Ice Bears, and it will of course be Mardi Gras themed with beads, brass, and just big hits. So definitely want to go out, see the festive activities, and some of the players, they'll also be wearing Mardi Gras themed jerseys. So it'll be a great time, and I'm sure it'll be a wonderful vibe. And the game is tomorrow at 5 p.m. at the VBC Arena, and tickets can be purchased at the VBC box office, Huntsville Havoc office, and online at Ticketmaster.com. And there will be another fun Mardi Gras event happening tomorrow at Field Day, and it will be an all-day celebration. It's going to have good food, drinks, and vibes. There will be live DJs spinning New Orleans jazz from 1 to 4 p.m., and there will be free Mardi Gras beads for the first 200 guests. And there's also going to be mini beignets, scratch-made jambalaya, and Mardi Gras-inspired specialty cocktails. And so this is going on from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., and it's just going to be a wonderful time just to celebrate, have a good time with family, friends, the people that you enjoy being around. It'll be a good time. And Field Day, it's also going to give people an opportunity to still enjoy some of these festivities on Monday and Tuesday as well if you can't make it on Sunday, or if you can make it on Sunday and you want to just keep the party going. It'll be going on until Monday and Tuesday as well at Field Day. And so on Monday and Tuesday, it won't be like the whole thing that they're doing on Sunday, but they will still have beignets, jambalaya, those specialty cocktails available on Monday and Tuesday as well. So there's just so many great events to check out this weekend, and it's going to be just a great time. There's so many different things to do for fun for Valentine's Day or Mardi Gras or just because. And there's going to be a lot of fun places and events to check out this weekend. So celebrate with your friends, significant others, family, or, you know, go out solo, whatever you prefer. And a lot of great options this weekend if you want to get out and do something. And anytime throughout the week, if you're looking for a fun or a good event to go to, you can always check out Huntsville.org's event tab and WeAreHuntsville.com's event calendar to see more events that are happening in the area. Sometimes there's things that you don't even think of that pop up on that calendar, and it's like, oh, I didn't think they had something like this in Huntsville or in the Tennessee Valley, and they do. And so definitely check that out throughout the week. They have a lot of wonderful events hosted. And that's all I have today for the 48 recap. Thank you all for tuning in. And don't forget to tune into 48's Weather Extra segments. Our meteorologists go live every Monday through Friday and every Saturday and Sunday. Forecaster Jada Russell will be joining you all in just a little while for another edition of Weather Extra. So be sure to tune in with her. And she'll be talking more about that heavy rain that's supposed to move in overnight into tomorrow. And we will have a first alert weather day for that heavy rain. Meteorologist Jeff Denoyers, he said that it doesn't seem like as of now there is supposed to be a severe storm or anything associated with it, just heavy rain. But definitely stay tuned so you can learn more. And again, our Weather Extra segments are just another way to give you all those extra insights on the latest weather forecast. And make sure to download our 48 apps and follow us on our Facebook and YouTube channels so you don't miss any updates on the news and on the weather. And if you would like to stay connected with me throughout the week, please be sure to follow my Facebook page at Tatyana White, WAFF 48. I would love to connect with you all. I have my new digital series, This Month Matters, where I talk and connect with people about the various different months. Like this month is National Heart Health Month. So just various different things I'm able to connect with people about and possibly interview and just have on for the digital series, or if you have a story idea or an event coming up. So definitely feel free to reach out anytime. Take care, everyone, and stay safe this weekend. I hope you all have a great and happy Valentine's Day and have a wonderful Mardi Gras weekend. And don't forget, our 5 p.m. show today will be online as a fast cast. We'll send out a push notification on our app as a reminder at 5. And I will see you all back here next Saturday. I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend.